Alright, just you and me again. Let's open a very real file today. Why you get attached to people who aren't good for you. Take a breath. You don't have to judge yourself while you listen to this. You just have to be honest with yourself. You know that feeling, right? You know someone isn't good for you. They confuse you. They hurt you. They disappear when you need them. They say things that cut deep. They make you doubt yourself. And still, if they text you, your heart jumps. If they pull away, you panic. If they give you even a tiny bit of affection, it feels like oxygen. You see the red flags. You understand the situation logically. But emotionally, you're still hooked. So let's answer this slowly and properly. Why do you get attached to people who are not good for you? Why is it so hard to let go? And what is actually happening inside your brain, your nervous system, and your emotional memory? I'm talking only to you, not to people. To you. First, I want you to hear this. You're not stupid. You're not weak. You're not dramatic. You're not addicted to pain on purpose. You're wired. You're patterned. You're responding exactly as your brain and body were trained to respond. Once you understand the wiring, you can slowly rewire it. So let's start at the foundation. Your attachment system was built long before romance, long before crushes, relationships, or heartbreak. You were a child who needed something very simple: safety, attention, comfort, consistency, love. As a baby and as a child, you couldn't feed yourself, protect yourself, earn money, or survive on your own. So your brain formed a special system called attachment. This attachment system has one job: stay close to people who keep me alive. When you cried and someone came, your brain learned, okay, this is safety, this is connection, this is how love feels. When you were scared and someone comforted you, your brain learned, when I'm in pain, this is the person I go to. When you were ignored, yelled at, or only noticed sometimes, your brain also learned, okay, so love feels like waiting, guessing, chasing, or proving myself. You didn't choose any of this. Your brain simply observed who showed up, how they showed up, when they disappeared, what you had to do to get closeness. Then it built a template. This is what love feels like. Not healthy love, not ideal love, just familiar love. And here's the key. As an adult, you don't chase what's healthy. You chase what's familiar. So if, when you were younger, love felt like walking on eggshells, trying hard to earn attention, being scared they might leave, feeling like you had to be good enough not to be abandoned, getting affection only sometimes, not consistently. Then as an adult, your attachment system will be strangely drawn to people who are unpredictable, people who pull you in and push you away, people who confuse you, people you have to win over. Why? Because your nervous system says, this feels like home. This is what love always felt like. This must be it. Not because it's good, but because it's familiar. Now let's talk about the brain chemicals that get you stuck there. Think of a relationship with someone who isn't good for you. They might ignore you for a while, make you feel anxious and unsure, then suddenly give you attention, affection, or compliments. So you go from anxiety, relief, fear, comfort, emptiness, sudden high. Each time that shift happens, your brain gets a dopamine hit. Dopamine is not the happiness chemical, it's the anticipation and reward chemical. It's what lights up when you expect something good, especially when it's unpredictable. Think about slot machines in a casino. You don't win every time, you win sometimes. And that sometimes pattern actually makes the brain more addicted than if you won every time. With a stable, healthy person, you feel safe, calm, steady. With a chaotic person, you feel tension, fear, and then a sudden drop of relief when they are finally nice again. That finally is the dangerous part. Your brain associates them with the relief after the pain. So now you're not just attached to the person, you're attached to the cycle. They pull away, you panic. They come back, you feel a rush. They hurt you, you feel devastated. They apologize or give you crumbs, you feel saved. Over time, your brain starts to think, I feel this huge emotional high around them. This must be love. But really, your nervous system is just riding a roller coaster it never wanted to get on. Let's go deeper into why you may stay attached even when you know they aren't good for you. One big reason: scarcity mindset. Somewhere deep inside, you might be carrying beliefs like, I don't deserve better. If I let them go, no one else will want me. I won't find someone who understands me. This is the best I can get. At least they're here sometimes. That's better than being alone. Did you notice something? You're not holding on to them because they're truly good. You're holding on because you don't fully believe there is better. And if, growing up, you didn't consistently feel cherished, valued, noticed, important, then your brain quietly learned love is something I have to earn. I shouldn't ask for too much. I should be grateful for whatever I get. So when someone gives you half love, part-time affection, confusing signals, and you still try to hold everything together, that isn't stupidity, that's conditioning. Your scarcity mindset is not you being dramatic. It's a map your brain drew a long time ago. Love is rare. Love is fragile. Love can vanish. Don't let go, or you'll have nothing. So you stay. You excuse things. You minimize your pain. You say, it's not that bad. You say, everyone has problems. And a part of you believes, if I just love them enough, they'll change. If I'm patient enough, it will get better. If I prove I can stay through the worst, they'll finally see my worth. But listen carefully. That's not love. That's bargaining with your own self-worth. Now I want to talk to you about something called emotional memory. Your body remembers what your mind tries to rationalize. If in the past you experience inconsistent love, emotional chaos, yelling, blaming, or silent treatment, promises and then disappointment, moments of kindness mixed with moments of fear, your nervous system stored those experiences as normal emotional environments. So later, when you meet someone who makes you nervous but also excited, makes you feel unsafe, but also intensely alive, makes you cry, but also makes you feel deeply attached, your body says, I know this feeling, this is familiar, I know how to survive this. You might even say things like, I don't know why, but I just feel a strong chemistry with them. We just have this crazy connection. It's intense, it's messy, but it's real. Sometimes that chemistry is just your trauma recognizing something it's seen before. Your body is not seeking pain on purpose. It's seeking what it knows how to exist inside of. Healthy love can feel boring at first if your nervous system is used to chaos. Calm can feel empty. Respect can feel distant. Consistency can feel suspicious. Kindness can feel undeserved. That's how powerful emotional memory is. Now, a very important part. Why does leaving or letting go feel so painful, even when you know they aren't good for you? Think of attachment as a bond your brain and body form to keep you close to what it decided was important. When you try to break that bond, your brain doesn't say, oh good, you're walking away from something harmful. Instead, it says, wait, where is my person? Where is my pattern? Where is my familiar chaos? I don't know how to exist without that. So you feel anxiety, restlessness, physical ache, obsessive thoughts, longing, the urge to call, text, or check on them. That's not proof that they're your soulmate. That's your attachment system protesting the loss of its favorite pattern. Think of it like withdrawing from an unhealthy habit. When someone quits sugar, their body craves it. When someone quits smoking, their body screams for it. When you quit an unhealthy attachment, your whole system feels like something is missing. That missing feeling is what often pushes people back into the same relationship or into another version of it with someone new. And then you start to think, maybe I overreacted. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I can handle it. You're not crazy, you're just addicted to the emotional pattern. So what do? How do you stop attaching so deeply to people who aren't good for you? I'm not going to tell you. Just move on. Just love yourself. Just cut them off. If it were that easy, you wouldn't be here. Instead, I want to talk to you about slow, real, honest changes that begin inside you. First, 1. Start by telling yourself the full truth. Not the soft version, not the excuse version, the real version. Ask yourself, if someone I love described this relationship to me, would I tell them to stay? If a child I care about was being treated like this, would I say it's okay? If I weren't scared of being alone, would I still choose this person? Sometimes the biggest step is not leaving physically. It's leaving the illusions. Stop editing their behavior in your mind to protect your heart. See it clearly. So 2. Separate the person from the feeling. You might think you're attached to them, but often you're attached to the feeling of being chosen, the feeling of being wanted, the idea of fixing them, the hope of one day they'll be who I need. Ask yourself, what do I actually crave the most in this connection? Is it safety, attention, validation, comfort, familiar drama? Once you see what you're really craving, you can start finding healthier ways to meet that need, slowly, in other places, including within yourself. 3. Rewrite your idea of love. Love is not constantly wondering where you stand, being scared to speak honestly, feeling anxious when your phone lights up, feeling small, jealous, or not enough, crying in secret and pretending it's fine. Love is feeling safe, feeling seen, being allowed to be imperfect, being respected even when there is conflict, growing as a person, not shrinking. You may not fully believe you deserve that yet. That's okay. You can borrow my belief for now. You do deserve it. Even if your past didn't show it to you. Even if your brain doesn't know how it feels yet. 4. Learn to sit with the discomfort of not chasing. One of the hardest parts of detaching from unhealthy people is resisting the urge to fix them, win them back, prove yourself, show them how loyal you are. You might feel a strong pull to message, call, check their social media, or explain yourself one more time. Notice that urge. Don't hate yourself for it. Just recognize, this is my attachment system trying to drag me back to the familiar. You don't have to shame yourself. You just have to pause long enough to choose differently. Maybe at first you can't resist completely. Maybe you go back and forth a few times. That doesn't mean you failed. It means your pattern is strong. Patterns don't vanish overnight. They slowly weaken when you stop feeding them. Row 5. Surround yourself with relationships that feel different. You can't rewire your attachment system just by reading or listening. It needs new emotional experiences. Seek out friendships where you feel respected. People who are consistent. Spaces where you don't feel like you have to perform for attention. Moments where you can be yourself and still be accepted. At first, this may feel strange or even uncomfortable. You might think, this is too calm. Something must be wrong. They don't love me enough. There's no drama. But that's not lack of love. That's lack of chaos. Your body needs time to learn that calm is not danger. Calm is safety. 6. If the relationship is abusive or deeply damaging, reach out for help. If someone is toxic, manipulating you, isolating you from others, controlling you, threatening you, physically or emotionally hurting you, that is not a pattern you should try to manage alone. Talking to a therapist, a trusted person, or a local support service is not weakness, it's survival. You are allowed to protect yourself. You are allowed to leave what harms you, even if your attachment pulls you back. Let me end this by talking directly to the part of you that feels ashamed. There might be a voice inside you saying, how did I let it get this far? Why do I keep choosing people like this? What's wrong with me? Here's the answer. You learned love from people who are also imperfect, wounded, or limited. You attached to what was available. You repeated what felt familiar. You accepted what you thought you deserved. Now you're waking up, you're noticing, you're questioning, you're learning. That's not failure, that's growth. You're not behind. You're not hopeless. You're just at the chapter where you finally see the pattern clearly, and see this clearly too. You are capable of feeling love that doesn't hurt like this. You are allowed to raise your standards slowly. You are allowed to disappoint people who want to use you. You are allowed to want more, even if you stayed too long in less. One day you'll look back at this version of yourself, the one listening to this right now, and you'll feel proud. Not because you were perfect, but because you were brave enough to ask, why do I get attached to people who aren't good for me? And how can I change that? And step by step you did. This is your file today from Body Logic Files. Take care of your heart. It's been loyal to the wrong people for a long time. Now it's time to be loyal to yourself.